what's going on, guys? It's me, Train Man, and welcome back to the Zombie Train. That was quite a spastic intro, actually. Anyways, it's Thursday again, or Thursday night or evening, or whenever this thing gets out. It's about 8 o'clock when I'm making this recording anyways, so you will get it whenever your time comes. Until I get a week ahead in these are going to be coming out kind of late, just because of the way my Thursday schedule is in terms of classes. That's just kind of an unfortunate consequence of the way things currently exist. Anyways, right now, I decided to do... I looked over the grades one more time. I didn't actually change anything. And then I came through and I rose the ground. I raised the ground to track height. And so now the rest of the episode is really the building of the canyon, not Eldorado Canyon, but the end of Eldorado Canyon, which is probably going to be a decent name for this episode, as a matter of fact, which runs from where the river currently ends to where this inlet begins. So that's going to be that. Now this is, in this first section of episodes, unfortunately, I got distracted more than once. I did a pretty good job of getting distracted, as a matter of fact. And using some kind of unconventional terrain styles and listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast, and I'm talking about 50 Shades of Grey, and figuring out, like, lining this up to kind of figure out where, where slopes would be, where this river would cut away at slopes. So that, of course, we're building quasi-realistic terrain in some way, shape, or form, which is... Apparently I gave up on that. There I go. Okay, so I must have gotten distracted and became a hypocrite pretty much immediately. But we come over here with terrain tracks, and this is a big terrain tracks episode, but we do use a significant amount of the regular tools. How come I can't see my cursor? Okay, I can't see my cursor. That's a problem in the video. Normally I would be able to see my cursor. I guess I don't. Oh, show mouse cursor. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Add webcam overlay. Well, I can't do that because I don't plug my webcam in, or else it would take over this. That'd be something interesting to do, actually. Although that's through Bandicam, I wouldn't be able to do that in for these videos, of course, unless you wanted to see me working, sped up in... Nah, I'm not a webcam guy. I say that, but I display my webcam once a week. I'm not a webcam guy for your regular old videos, I guess. It's, I often get distracted, or, there's people wandering through here. I've got one roommate and two suite mates that are constantly walking through. So, I get those 15 minutes of freedom to do the timetable, and other than that, I'm not going to restrict people from walking behind my desk, which is right by the door, and kind of in an important position in terms of traversing this room. So, and it's going to stay, too. One of the things, I managed to get this room again, in terms of housing, with my roommate being, one of my current suite mates, which is going to be cool. So, I'm stuck with the same people. Whoops. Which isn't a problem, of course. Because then I don't have to acclimate myself to a new roommate. Well, I sort of do, but it's not somebody I don't know. No, I mean, I wouldn't be completely objective to a new roommate, but that ship has sailed anyways. Maybe if I could get this for a third year, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Again, by that point, I'd rather have some sort of semi-permanent housing in the city of Troy as opposed to supplied by the school, because, well, I don't know, it might be less expensive, honestly. Rensselaer is really expensive. In fact, my roommate was calculating out food costs because he decided to go out and buy sandwich material, cheese and bread and ham, and once turkey, and he was upset that they ran out of ham, but that's beside the point. And he calculated that if he just bought those sandwiches every day, it'd be cheaper than the meal plan, and he's not wrong, except for with the unlimited if you ate all the time, but that's I mean, it's a reality, and you're paying for the convenience of being able to walk to the dining hall, which the dining halls close freakishly early. I don't know what's up with that. For college students, at least. For normal people, they close at a perfectly fine time. But we're not normal people, we're college students. So you notice me raising the ground to the track here and with the tools, and then raising up the track ground, and then having to come in here and do this. This may be what we're stuck doing for a lot of Eldorado, just because, or New Eldorado, just because of the way things are. I mean, it'll turn out to be a more interesting looking canyon instead of just flat sloped walls, and it does occur to me that I'm going to have to redo the canyon on the other side as well, so I might want to start placing down baseboards. Speaking of placing down baseboards, however, I have the first segment of my Iron Horseman Chronicles route done. That makes it, I have something done. I have, 2 cities and connection between them. Jada has 3 cities and 2 connections. Oh no, I have 2 connections as well. Milky currently has a city and half a connection. Wybold has a city. And TJ has 2 cities and 1.5 connections thereabouts. He's still working. TBA has 1 city, 2 cities, sort of, 1.5 cities, and 1 connection. And there's going to be a lot of fiddly bits for people to fill in when we get to it. So, we have these pieces that I'm slowly putting together. So I have my part attached to Jader's part, and we're going to attach Milky's part and Wybold's part, what they have done. And then we're going to hand this thing around, and we're going to get, some more stuff done. Eventually we're going to be dealing with a master map that we have to pass between the people in order to update in any way, shape, or form. And that, of course, means that we're stuck with the 1 copy of it. But that's not really going to be a problem, because once everything's pretty much nailed down, we won't need to be doing that much in terms of changes. So here we go, bringing up this canyon wall here, making it look more or less real instead of your flat slope terrain tracks. Of course, on some of the terrain tracks, I should go over them with a tool anyways, just to make them a flatter and more cohesive... sorry, not a flatter, a less flat, as a matter of fact, and more realistic bit of terrain, because obviously the ground isn't completely flat except in places where humans have intervened, and this isn't that. That's for damn sure. So, here we go, once again, and I decided to get a less powerful brush tool to help me work out some of these things, and look at it moving around in 3 times speed. Kind of spastic. Really spastic. I'm a spastic. Also, when using a small brush and building these riverbanks, things turn out kind of weird. You just end up having these bumps in the riverbank that really wouldn't be there, at least not in my experience, with how riverbanks tend to work. But that was something, I think I just did what I said I was going to do. What just happened? Oh, hey, that's Bandicam catching up. So, you'll notice it'll do these weird transitions now instead of getting locked up. That's because, Bandicam had a pretty serious update. And I don't really know... Well, I know a few things of what they changed, and some of that was being able to add the webcam overlay, start full screen recording on Bandicam startup. No. Run Bandicam on Windows, start Bandicam, minimize the tray. These are options that basically you could have the thing the moment you turn on the computer it starts recording the screen, which would be interesting. That's for sure. We have show mouse cursor, repeat screen capture. That's the same stuff. Video, you can, add webcam overlay. You can do the settings on this one. High priority in the normal effects logo. That's all stuff I know. Output. Oh, hey, it shows me the output folder. What is the new thing? There was something in particular that struck me, and I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Now I don't remember what it was. I was just thinking of it. Yeah, no, I have no idea now. I'm totally lost. I might have already mentioned it or something. What is this button? Capture image. Well, I can't do that right now. It's got a cool, it's got a cool looking GUI. That's kind of different and new. But, it's nothing really... Oh, sorry. The whole reason I got on the tangent. There is a setting in here somewhere. Let me go back to it. Let me crack open Bandicam again. The setting, video. Settings. Effects, options. Skip recording while frame is not updated. I unchecked that. That means it's still going to catch stuff, when a game is locked up. And that means that in Train Fever, I'll probably have to do less synchronization. And that means I can go, well, I'm not going to go back and do something like Shogun. All of my stuff from Shogun is being flagged for copyright infringement music now. I don't know why, like a year after I've posted this stuff. They finally got around to it. I wish I'd known ahead of time. I would have done something different. But that's beside the point. So here we come with this waterfall. This actually, just on a whim, ended up turning out better than I expected it to turn out. And grabbing that height, dragging it across, realizing that's a little bit high, so I lower that, grab the height again, drag it across. And that's going to be our waterfall base, and I come over here and just... I'm looking for the 200 meter waterfall that I have in TS12, but obviously I don't have it in 06, because we're using all built-in stuff. So I give up on the waterfall for a second, I come over and do some terrain tracks, I guess. I got distracted. So, speaking of TS12, that leads me to something. And it's funny because the original video of this, not of the zombie train, of actually, Train Simulator 2006, I believe is what it was called TS12 Rant. And this was a point in time where, Trains 12 wasn't, I don't know, either I didn't know about it or it wasn't out yet. I just can't, I don't know. It was a few years ago, so it may not have been in the spotlight. But TS12 at that point meant Train Simulator, and that's Railworks Train Simulator, and that's really what I was ranting about, of course. The one on Steam. Oh, then again, the regular TS12 is also on Steam. But that's not where I got it. Anyways, point being, the TS12 is now what I'm thinking of moving on to. I know I've talked about sticking around on this map until we get 06 worked out and blah blah blah, but here's my ending problem. Sorry, hold on. Take a step back. The reason I was thinking of moving to 12 is because I was upset with the lack of features and frankly the lack of dartboards in Trains 06. When I was looking at the signals in Eldorado, which you'll see me go back and look at later. I don't change them though. I'm just not a big fan of those signals now. Any routes I build in the future are probably going to be dartboard heavy, because I got this sweet set of dartboards, PRR dartboards, and that's what I used in the map I used for the Iron Horseman Chronicles. And they do a very good job of confusing people, I'll say that much. If you'll excuse me a minute, though, I have to go to Planet Aron, and I accidentally hit caps lock instead of A. Planet. See, what I've got to do here is my T1 DLC stopped working. Fist class tickets. If anyone goes on Planet Aron and My Trains, if you go under the products, they misspelled first class tickets underneath where it actually says first class tickets. It's spelled as fist class tickets. Actually, this isn't where I want to be. I want to be... No, wrong place. I need to be at the other place, Simulator Central, I think it is. No, that's not right either. Where am I trying to get? Transforum? No, not there either. I'm trying to get... Oh wait, there it was. There it was. Help desk. Sorry, this place is... These places are just impossible to navigate. And why are they impossible to navigate? Is this... Okay, let's... I'm still waiting for a reply. Okay, so... As we know, updating to TS12 would have good things and bad things. The good things would be access to more content, etc. The bad thing would probably mean... Well, frankly, for me, it would probably mean a new route, because the Tamara's Veil Anaconda has its share of defects, and they're defects that I'm not really fond of. Now, this doesn't mean I want to shelve the Tamara's Veil and the Tamara's Veil and Anaconda Railway completely, but or immediately. But I've been having my doubts about this place for a significant period of time, and that's just my own personal opinion, because I don't know. I feel like I could do it better. And also I could do it in such a fashion that the assets would be all on the download station, and thus would be able to do multiplayer in such a route. Of course, the Train 12 multiplayer is buggy as all hell. So, that's, that's a difficult proposition in and of itself. But, if I were to do something like that, it would definitely be a possibility. Now, again, the eventual thing was to... What was I gonna say? I'm sorry, I got totally lost there for a minute. What was I honestly gonna say? The eventual thing is to bring this into TS12 when it's done, but that's a long ways out. And meanwhile, I have a route that sort of works in one and sort of works in the other, and really doesn't do either very well, especially with places like Tamaros Yard. Again, I'm really a big fan of this route. It was one of my better ideas, and the first time I very solidly used a map, but now I really know how to use a map, and that means I could go over and do it properly, again, in an actual map, and maybe have something based on the Tamaros Veil and Anaconda Railway, maybe the TV and ARR version 2 in TS12, but still, I'm not seriously talking about shelving the project, because it's just not something I'm a big fan of doing right now. So we come over here and we run along here for a minute. Again, we've put a lot of effort into this place, and I'm proud of the way it's come out. In some cases. As long as we're talking about some of the newer places. But, I'm much more experienced at building routes now than I was when I started this project. Again, before this project, honestly, you could see everything I've built in the early episodes of Transroad Simulator 2006, the series that preceded this one. You have some okay-looking stuff that's interesting to run on, or, just works, and that's the advantage, like Oceanica, and, what's the other one? The Junction. That was an interesting one. And, of course, the icing on the cake, which is Geiger Mountains, although that was never really well done. And that was never finished, either. It never got close. Although doing a Geiger Mountains Redux would be interesting as well. I don't have the original map for that, though. It was on a very tattered piece of notebook paper, and I tossed it out after I got all the track work down because I didn't need it anymore. But, I'll leave it up to you guys if we actually want to move or not. I know a significant portion of you still use 06 because it's a pretty robust program as far as things go. And as I've said, it'll run on just about anything, and by that I don't mean operating system, because of course it has its limits with some of the modern technology. But it doesn't It doesn't slow down. You know, this is the kind of thing that, as they say, it stops for no man. What the hell? It stops for no man. It stops for no computer. I could run this thing on the typewriter without that much of a problem. And the typewriter, for those of you that don't know, is my going on 8 years old Toshiba satellite crap top with this dinky little 2-core processor, 1 gigabyte of RAM, just one. And, you know, I really don't know how else to phrase it other than the fact that I don't trust it anymore to do anything that isn't Microsoft Word. That's why I call it the typewriter. It runs Word 03, which is my favorite version of Word to date. And it does that well enough. So, you know, I'm happy with it. It has, as they say, it has beaten the test of, sorry, not beaten. It has passed the test of time. Sorry, I got distracted for a minute there. Something went by outside, like an ambulance or a fire truck or something. Obviously, I can't see it, but as we've had plenty of chaos for, noting the episode on Tuesday, I'm a little bit wary of sirens and things of that sort just showing up and playing hell with my video attempts. Alright, so that was a bad decision. We've got this. This was, you know, we're moving in towards the end of the episode here. Originally, I wanted to finish this corner before, did I finish? Yeah, I did. Sorry. The big thing was I finished this corner of the river before I, timed out on my work ethic. So, that's that. Huh. It's weird. Sorry. So, just cleaning an area, or filling an area, this is the stuff you've seen before, so this is not interesting but in the least bit to you guys, so that's why I have to carry on with the interesting conversation. Now, the interesting bit I actually didn't talk about by accident, and that was extending the grade across the way and then finding the right spot to continue that. Now, we've got a really weird-looking cliff there, and if I'd done some stuff with it, it might have turned out alright. But, you know, I just came along it with terrain tracks like I normally do. And just wrapped it up like that, so. What is, Alright. Ah, there we go. Okay, so that came out surprisingly well for a randomly selected first attempt waterfall texture. Frankly, it's kind of amazing that it turned out that well. Alright, so now we're attaching this to the track over here. Again, this isn't directly related to the project I was working on, but frankly, all in all, this area turned out all right. It's not great, but it isn't terrible either. Oh, and frankly, I think the picturesqueness that's going to result from maybe one train up there and one train down here could be very interesting for cool screenshots. This edge here, again, there were a lot of areas here, as a matter of fact, that I just didn't know. I honestly didn't know what to do with them, so I just came around and did terrain tracks like I normally do, and, well, it turned out alright, as I've said. Alright, so, I'm getting a little bit, disconnected from what I'm supposed to be talking about here. It's very warm in this room. I'm getting distracted. So we're gonna clean up the last of these bumpy bits, which are just results of me trying out different heights and trying to figure out what was good and what was not, and then we come along here with the other tool and sort everything out. I don't know why I lowered that corner. I honestly don't. I go back and undo it later. But real quick, we come around and wrap up this corner. Again, regret doing that. Undo it. Put the thing on the top of the bump. And refill it. And then come in here and terrain tracks these sides. So, I don't know. Remember, post whatever you think we should do down in the comments below, because I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I don't have the words. I don't have the words! I don't have the words to say, so I'm not saying anything, which is a problem. So, I'm, just at a point where I'm just gonna say we keep terraining and then we finish the episode. But we have a few more minutes, so I should talk about something more important and, I don't know, interesting perhaps. So, we've got this corner here, and I honestly didn't know what to do here, and something that gets me is I made those hills over at the front, like not the dune hill. Well, I guess they're sort of dune hills. I could retexture them to be like that, and that actually might make more sense. But I don't know what to do with them in terms of terrain. So that's my most troubling terrain section right now. This is my second most troubling with Eldorado Canyon. But I know what Eldorado Canyon is supposed to look like. The dunes, they're just weird. Like, I didn't think ahead when I decided to go ahead and make that. When I decided to make those hills, they were just, I don't know, they were a good line of sight blocker. But I should pay more attention to where I'm going to build, and these days I've been avoiding, of course, building in directions that I'm going to be putting something. Like, you'll notice, last section, I ended at the track and the river, and I said, I'm not going to build past here because I don't know what I'm going to put over there. And running up to the edge of the map just leads to problems, as we've seen in the past. Again, something else that I'd do differently this time around. You learn from mistakes, you know? You learn from mistakes. Anyways, as we round the side, I think we're going to take one more good look at what that canyon looks like. Go on, self, do it. I'm not sure, I might have looked away in the time when I did that, but we're running down the last few seconds here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next week. And remember to say whatever you think down in the comment section below. And that's it for me. Okay, man out.